So I got some comments that they don't like my messy hair. So I'm gonna start combing it from now on. Hey, there we go. I'm Brian. Join the adventures as I share what I learn restoring a hurricane-damaged catamaran with the dream to sail the world. The software project I've been working on finally went live at work, and we've got enough of the initial bugs and stuff squared away that I can finally take some time off again. So back to working on the boat. I got a little bit of work done during it, but I haven't had time to make any YouTube videos of that, and it's mostly been clean. The weather's been horrible here. So hopefully the weather changes. It's supposed to be fairly decent this week, and we're not supposed to get rain today. So I need to get started on this big section here. So we'll see. I've been just cleaning up inside. So we'll take a look at that this week. So there's two things I want you to notice here. First is how small that crack is when we first started. It's a pretty small hole. And then as we keep grinding away, I find that it gets bigger and bigger. The second thing to notice is that in this video, my hair was still long. So hopefully I'm not like Samson that I cut my hair and I lose all my boat building abilities. Anyway, as I keep cutting it back, what I'm looking for is any cracking or any delamination. And you just have to keep going as far as you can. And sometimes the delamination in the core, or actually it's not really it's the lamination in the core, but it's the splitting in the core will go back a ways, and sometimes it will delaminate off the top of the core. So I keep going back until it's completely solid, and I also make it very rounded. Here you can see I'm cutting the templates out of paper, and then I go down and bring the core back up. I rough cut it down below. Some people have said that I should scarf the foam or cut it basically at an angle to join it in. I don't think that really makes a difference in the strength. Now, it's really important if you have just plywood that you do scarf it because the strength is there. But when you're dealing with a core material, it's the outside laminates that take all the strength, and in tension and compression, it's just the inside that's in shear as the tension and the compression are fighting each other. And so it doesn't really matter if it's cut at an angle. In fact, it doesn't really even matter if it's glued together. That's why you see all like the scoring on some of the thinner sheets. They're scored back and forth because they have these slits in them. What it's about is it's about the shear of the material, which is a little bit hard to describe. It would be a totally different story if it was plywood or something like that that wasn't a core that the laminate was taking all the strength on. So after I do that, I just grind it down. Basically to kind of smooth out. First I put a little bit of filler on it, get it smoothed out. After I put the filler on it, I'll add the glass layers. Now some people are saying go bigger to smaller or smaller to bigger. I don't think it really makes that much difference. The only key is if you go smaller to bigger, make sure that you don't sand off that longer layers continuous fabric as it goes across, because if you sand those fibers off, you're basically lose the value of that taper. So as long as you're not doing that, you can just work on whatever's easiest. And it's a little bit difficult with the really thick cloth. So what I end up doing is almost making them the same size and then grinding the top layer actually smaller with the sanders. And it goes pretty fast, so it's really not a problem. Yeah, this Florida weather, I tell you. My house was sunny. I show up here 20 minutes later. Everything's just soaked. So, no fiberglass work today. Maybe I'll find something inside to do. I mean, there's tons of stuff to do. One of the next areas that I'm going to attack is rebuilding that dash area that I talked about. And so there's a lot of stuff behind it that I need to pull out. So getting this piece of plywood out of there, getting all that electrical out of there. And it takes a lot of time because I want to preserve stuff as much as I can so that I can use it as templates and also save the wires so that I can use them as poles. The problem is it's still leaking a little bit of water because I haven't finished the roof, and so I'm going to get back to finishing the roof, but I didn't like it leaking on my engine, and it had to come out anyway, so I figured good time to pull it. There's surprisingly not that many connections on these engines to disconnect them, so they come in and out pretty easy. There's 4 main bolts that bolt the engine in. There's the bolts on the drive shaft, a couple of water lines, and then a couple electrical connections. Here I rigged up a quick pulley system with just a few ropes, and you can see my son there. He came to help me, and we just needed to get the engine up and over. Well, the engine's out. It's a mess down there. Let's see if I can clean it up. And then the fun stuff starts, cleaning. There's just so much to do in here, pulling out all the different parts and cleaning it up. Just tons of junk and garbage and stuff. It's amazing what I'm finding in their shoes and all sorts of stuff that just ended up in the bilge from the storm. There's still a lot of cleaning to do, but you know, I get excited about someday I'll be able to actually get this all painted fresh and get everything cleaned up and it'll look like new again. There's always the lingering mess. Still need to clean up. With this bad weather, I figure it's a good time to get some of the projects that I've been putting off. And so disassembling this bathroom would be one of them. So I'm just pulling everything off, and then hopefully we'll get this cleaned up. I figure at least I could get one thing done in the boat, so maybe I could have the bathroom looking nice. When you're doing a project like this, I would have to say probably the most important thing to have is vision, right? So you got all this endless stuff, and stuff looks disgusting and it looks dirty. And so you just have to have the vision of what this will actually look like when it's done. It kind of reminds me of when I built my house a few years back, and you're digging the foundation and everything's dirty and gross, and you're thinking, yes, that's my same son that helped me pull the engine. You think, is this someday going to be nice? Is this going to be a nice house with a nice living room with wood floor? And yeah, if you have the vision, yes, it will. So even though this is like the foundation layer where you're digging through the dirt and everything is gross, it eventually someday is going to be nice. You just have to have that vision. All right, coming down into the master head, we're going to get this thing cleaned out. I got it stripped. Pretty much everything, almost everything out. So we're going to clean this, get this looking like new. Wonder if I can do it. It's oddly satisfying as you're pressure washing to just watch the grime and dirt just wash away as you do this. The only bad part is you realize that, well, everything you wash is going to end up in the bilge and you got to muck it out. So where the wood came off the front, I've got to get this stuff off. So this guy did the rescue. And it doesn't matter that much if I damage the face, because that's right where the wood's going to get glued back on. So. And then after that, we're back to more pressure washing. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to get everything behind the liner. There's not very many liners in the boat, really. It's just the two bathrooms. And so every spot where I had access, and I had surprisingly good access to the liner, I would then stick that pressure washer up there and get in all the cracks and just watch everything get clean. And you can even see from here, it's actually not even that dirty up there. Yeah, every spot that I could put that pressure washer in to make sure that I could get it clean back there, I would do it. I also have pretty good access. You can actually see in there, and then you have pretty good access from underneath, so I could pressure wash the bottom of the shower pan and look down in there and see what was happening. But you'll see the bilge just turned out so gross of all the dirt that comes out of there. All that orange staining that was in there, I eventually was able to get all that, just by taking a brush, get all that out, and it turned out just everything clean, white, no more stain marks or anything left on it. It turned out pretty good. But still needs to go to the next level. We need to buff it out. Yeah, so I need to take get some better storage for all my stuff so I can clean the boat. So I think I'm going to build like a little temporary tent shed under here to keep all my wood dry. I had it set up on some plastic sawhorses, but it all collapsed. So got to build something more solid so I can get the boat cleaned. Crazy battery. Yeah, I know this video has been a little bit random of just different projects that I've been doing on the boat, but that's kind of how it's been lately with the bad weather and with working so much. But I've caught you up to kind of where I am working on the boat. I'm excited to get back into the fiberglassing and get the helm section done and then move back into the main damage on that aft cabin. I've been a little surprised too at the success that I've found on YouTube. People actually like my videos and like to see me do crazy stuff. So I appreciate that, and I'd like to say, make a note to my 2 Patreons, David and Glenn. Thank you very much. But I'm still trying to figure out this YouTube thing. I'm trying to figure out, okay, what do people like? What do they don't like? And so it's a balance between how much time that I spend on editing the video to make a really high quality video, or if I just throw a bunch of clips together of me working on stuff and make it longer. So I haven't kind of figured out that balance yet to figure out what's popular and what's not. It seems like some videos I spend a lot of time on no one likes, and some videos I don't spend very much time on people love. And so who knows what to do. But either way, it doesn't really matter. I'm having fun. I'm having fun working on the boat. I'm having fun making the videos. So I'm just going to keep trying stuff. Be sure to leave me some comments down there. Tell me what you are liking and what you're not liking, and I'm going to ignore the comments anyway and still do whatever I want. Just kidding. I'll try to listen. Little promo for Fiberglass Florida. Hopefully I'll get back to the fiberglassing, but you know, things are just getting so messy in there, and as I disassemble stuff to get access to things, there's nowhere to put the old wood. And I don't want to throw it away because I'm going to use the old wood as patterns to make the new stuff, because it's way easier like that than trying to build new patterns. So hopefully this guy will serve its purpose, but there's just so much junk in the boat. I've just got to unload, and hopefully that'll give me some space to clean up. If you caught the vision, please like this video and also subscribe so you can join us on the journey.